Hey everybody, this is Arcanus, and today I wanted to show you some interesting unit relationships similar to my Hydra and Viper video, if you saw that before, where Hydras by themselves couldn't take on pure Colossus, but adding in a few Vipers, it crushed it. This is going to be a similar ex video, except this time I'm not going to add any units. And I'll show you what I mean. So normally Zerg players, this is how they do Swarmhosts. Just bleh. You know, I do this with Swarmhosts, and they're just not good this way though. As you watch, this Protoss player is just gonna attack move through it because he's bad and it's just bronze. We'll just say it's bronze, so I don't have to micro it because it can. Oh, oops, forgot the observer. Don't mind me, just messing up. So if we go like this, and do the same thing again. Protoss player's bad. This is bronze level game. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's why he doesn't have any zealots or sentries or anything. And you just can see it's not looking good. Just lost like 6 to 8 swarm hosts, and that's like a third of the DPS, third of everything. You know, the Zerg players just, at this point, if I were the Zerg player, I'd be like, oh, Swarmhosts are so terrible. I mean, I didn't even do anything to this army. So bad. I mean, clearly, right? So let's reset that and now add in nothing but positioning. And if we do this, you know, spread it out a little bit better. Try and not, you know, you have all the time in the world. It's bronze. He's not attacking it. He's moving across the map. So we send the units, and this time we move. And right off the bat, you can see a lot more units lost for the Protoss player. You know, and he did get to the Swarmhosts, and it's not looking too good, but it's also not looking terrible. I mean, at this point, the Protoss army is thinning out, and I don't want my Colossus to die, clearly, because that would be bad. So, units are dying. You know, we're already, you can see the massive benefit. You know, if this were a defensive position, Protoss player would have to fall back at this point, unless he gets surrounded like I just did. It's not bad. You know, and just seems totally different at this point. And be like, oh, Swarmhosts are overpowered. I mean, look at this. My army just fell apart. You can't do anything to it. And you know, I'm gonna keep attacking anyways because I'm Protoss and stubborn. Oh, wait for my observer. Oh, I forgot upgrades. Oops. So again, you know, at this point, Protoss player can't really take on. He's going to lose everything. And it was the same cost. It's a little bit supply efficient for Zerg, as you can tell. A little bit more minerals and gas, but as close as it can get, you can get really. And looks like it ended straight up even that time. Huge improvement. I mean, it was what, 21 units before, and this time it ended up with just this one observer that's left, and that's it. So Swarmhosts aren't all that bad. It's just they have to be positioned, especially against Protoss. But most people already think they're pretty effective against Protoss. So let's say it was against a Terran meching player this time. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go equal costs. It's going to be a lot less. Yeah, that's close enough. So 19 tanks. That's not too much against mech. I mean, it's just pure tanks, and this isn't a vacuum. So don't think this is like the end all be all. I mean, it is definitely very clean, as in like no other units, no counter-attacking, and you know, just general bad mechanics. So actually, oops. Oh well, we're not So if we ball up the Swarmhosts like this, as you can see, the entire DPS of the mech means this is about as far as it gets, you know? Ugh. Yeah. That's bad. Plenty of time to move forward and siege. So now, while that goes, we're going to split these up. Oh no. That's annoying. Sorry. Misjudged the distance. So, if we do that, that's a little too much down there. Trying to spread it out pretty evenly. You know, this is like the optimal siege line where you're just sitting there turtling in your base, and certain players like, I'll use Swarmhosts because that's a mid-game siege breaker, right? And if you looked at that last example, that didn't seem to really be the case. And I'm putting it right on the edge, but actually if you move the Swarmhost back further, it can still attack the siege line, but he can't really move forward because the timer is long enough that it doesn't have a, like, there's like 2 seconds in between. So now as you can see this time, DPS has to be spread out a lot more, and it actually gets to the tanks and hits. And it's only one chunk, like only that, like not much damage was done. Probably the equivalent of losing one tank. But when you're talking about siege breaking, that's pretty effective. Like, he's gonna lose this tank now, and then half this tank's health, and that one tank DPS is probably huge in the result. That's because now he has lost out on splash, and the Swarmhosts are just going to be able to survive just that much longer. And he loses another tank, does more damage. He's not really getting anywhere down here, but that's because there's really not as many Swarmhosts. You know, I'm going to reposition these slightly because I can, and it'll spread it out. So really concentrating on one end, and another tank. And it's kind of slow versus Terran, not as epic, I guess, just because of the differences. Again, these Swarmhosts, if I had spread out the Swarmhosts better, it would be a little bit different. As you can see, 2 tanks that time. That's a huge difference. And every 25 seconds, just again and again and again. It's just slight picking. Terran player can't really ever move forward. He's gonna he doesn't have time because of siege. Like, if I were to show it, I'd probably end up messing up and just losing all the siege tanks. So, you know, I think that's a pretty good example. I'm gonna just let everything spawn at once so it's a bit better looking. And if, like, Terran had spread out his tanks better and not had gone for the literal siege line, like, this is kind of massive and ridiculous, he'd be a lot more in trouble right now. They'd all be balled up, and so it'd be easier to get at some of them because the tank's DPS isn't as spread out. I can show that example. No, that's kind of boring. I don't think you or I really want to sit through that. So at this point, Terran player is starting to crumble. He can't really do anything. He's under tremendous pressure. You know, these locusts are just starting to pick off more. I mean, 5 tanks. He's probably going to get the rest of the tanks at this point, or if not now, in the next round. You know, and again, if I were to reset, I couldn't keep the locust back far enough so that by the time they got to the siege tanks, even if the siege tanks were killing them, they'd be on like 2 seconds left. So if the siege tanks tried to siege and leapfrog forward, they'd just end up getting picked off because they're unsieged. So I hope that gives you examples of why Swarmhosts are actually good and not as bad as people think. One more example, just against, let's see, let's go with Bio. Most people think Swarmhosts are fairly bad against Bio. So we'll go with 2 Swarmhosts against, let's go 2 Marauders and a few Marines. Just, let's say, that's a typical drop, I'd say. -1 Marauder. That's a drop, right? Okay, let's say you put 1 Swarmhosts to defend it, and how effective that is. Oh, let's not. Oh, oh well. So, attacks is dropping. Let's restart because that was bad. Oh, I also forgot the meta back. So because of the meta back, I'm going to say you leave 2 Swarmhosts behind to defend against this drop. So you're actually spending a bit more in gas, but you're spending less in supply. So this is a typical drop. So mineral lines right over here. He boosts in, and you're just having him on constant spawn. And he's like, oh no, micro. Oh, I can't attack. He can't even attack here. So with just this little bit of supply in Swarmhosts, you know, it's less than the Terran player. He just can't do anything to you. So if you're worried about drops because he's going bio, then you just leave 2 Swarmhosts in each mineral line, set it on auto spawn, and he can't do anything to it. Like, he can just try and attack around the perimeter, but there's just not much else he can do. Just wanted to check something. I think I may have gotten the amount allowed in a medevac wrong. Oh, I did. So let's go with the max in a medevac. You know, I would call this a typical drop. I've seen this plenty of times. So, yeah. So you've just planted these in your mineral line. They're on auto spawn. Boost past your overlords. He's like, oh yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything. Oh, Locust, I'll just scan and kill. Oh no, oh no. So, you know, DPS of this drop just isn't all that effective already. You know, he scans and starts doing damage. And he may kill 1 Swarmhost, but I mean, the drop's dead at this point. You negated the damage. Adding a Raven just to see. So we're gonna boost in. We burrow.
Here's your stop.
Roger that.
Sorry, I'm terrible with micro. So all the Marines died. 1 Swarmhost down. But you lost 2 Swarmhosts for negating this drop. Maybe. That didn't work out like it did last time. Again, hold on, let me retry that. Something seems wrong. So 2 Marauders. Let's go with the pure Marine drop. Maybe that's the difference. I'm trying to remember what I did before. So let's go pure Marine. That's a typical drop. You know, trying to kill as many workers as fast as possible. You know, burrow, boost in.
Dropping off.
You know, and this just isn't going to do much. You know, killed these.
Order acknowledged. Command authority registered.
I'm going to micro it back. Come on, micro. Probably wouldn't chase it like that, but kills the Swarmhost. So you probably would have lost the Swarmhost, but again, you didn't take any other damage, and he lost all 8 Marines, so 600, well, less than 600, 400 minerals for your 200, 100 gas. That's probably how it would turn out, especially if like he didn't scan away, like they only attacked right away because of scan, because of the Raven. If it were a scan, it would have been different. So, just, it shows that it can be effective against mine, just 2 Swarmhosts in a mineral line, probably your main mineral line and your third, and the Terran player can't really drop you, because if he drops you, the Locusts are there to stop it, or if he tries to boost around to another one, you just put up static defense or something, and you still have this massive force at the front. If we go, let's go back up to the 23, and let's go, let's go to a ridiculous scale. Let's go 20, yeah, whatever. That's pretty close to late game. I'd say that's a good bio army. Let's actually get rid of a couple marauders and add in medevacs. So if we group up here, oh, Swarmhosts, attack! I'm Terran and I can out micro it with no problem. Aha! Now he scans. He's killing your Swarmhosts. So it's not too bad for you, but you're kind of worried. Stims again. But he just loses. Swarmhost too good.
ETA 1 minute.
So yeah. So Swarmhosts are good. Good unit. Just mistaken. Not really thought about. Drops aren't all that dangerous. I mean, it is 6 supply tied up back, but his drops are 8 supply. So actually more than that if it's pure. It's more than that. Yeah, it's like 10 supply in a drop. Because it's 2 for medevacs, right? Yeah. So 2 for medevacs and then 8 marines is, or marauder, like no, any combination is another 8. So it's 10 supply versus 6 supply. You're really not losing that much. I mean, you may lose the Swarmhost, but if you just add in Spine Crawler or something, you're fine. So give Swarmhost a try. Give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it crushed this bio army. If you had that at his front and he's just like, well, I'll just take the losses and I'll start dropping you. And you have, let's get rid of a couple of these. Yeah, let's say you put 2 in each mineral line and you're on 3 base. So he's like, okay, I've been dropping you. I'm dropping you right now, so my army's a little bit smaller. The Swarmhosts are coming. Oh, the damage. But you know what? I think I can take it. I think that I killed those Swarmhosts quick enough, those locusts quick enough that I can go in and fight. And as you can see, this next wave is going to be a lot more effective. And at this point, Terran player would just have to fall back. Well, we could maybe keep going. And he keeps trying to break, but he's losing all his units. These get down to just reinforcements, and your reinforcements would be able to attack him, and he just can't do anything. So Swarmhosts are really good. Just, you gotta give him the chance. Thanks, guys.